On today's Glory Days show, spring training begins in both Florida and Arizona, and the Mets are getting ready to defend their National League Championship crown. But it's the Yankees that are making the news this week with an announcement about how they will be selling their tickets.
Well, in trying to prevent bogus tickets from being resold on the secondary market, the Yankees have come up with a unique way to get their fans into games. But their COO is making statements that are upsetting their fan base, saying that some fans just don't belong in the premium seats.
Pete Torgerson will join us again this week, talk about the NHL, specifically about what's going on in the Western Conference as we head into the final 6 weeks of the regular season.
And we've got a Did You Hear About segment with some incredible high school basketball stories. So don't touch that mouse. Glory Days starts right now.
Inravio.com.
Hello there, everybody. Today is Saturday, February 20th, 2016, and you are watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani. This is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Cal Melnick and Eric Mikhailov are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm really happy. It's nice outside.
I know. Who could believe it's February 20th. It's going to be 50 degrees today, maybe 55 degrees today.
It's going to be a good day to go outside and smoke a cigar.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Right? You know?
It's not a bad idea. The Sab has been busting my chops because he gave me a bunch of cigars for my birthday. I haven't smoked any of them.
Oh, really?
And I need to invite him out there, too. So, George, if you're watching, probably not. But if you are, come on by, man, you know.
I just, you know, it's just so nice. I mean, you know, spring training started this week. We had a little bit of cold temperatures during the course of the week, but it's going to be nice this week.
Well, last weekend was pretty bad. And we didn't get neither you or I got a chance to get in the studio audience for Joe's show on Monday, which I felt bad about.
No, Joe was so sorry. It was you know, out in Massapequa, we got some snow. You know?
I did Mount Sinai too.
And I guess, how could we actually complain about it after the winter we had the year before?
Yeah.
Compared to the winter we had this year. You know what I mean? So, listen, it's February 20th. We're going to be going into March fairly soon.
Yep.
And we really didn't have a bad winter.
Well, it's not over yet, my friend. You know, and, you know, because I don't think it really got cold until later than usual, right. I still think we're going to have a late spring. I hope I'm wrong, but...
But you know what? Here's the difference between like a March snowstorm and a January snowstorm.
Oh, it doesn't stick around long.
Yeah, January snowstorm sticks around for weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I don't know.
It's nice to get out of work and it's not dark anymore. It's you know, it's not getting dark at 4:30. It's like it's closer to 5:30, I think.
Yeah,
now, you know?
you come out from work and the street lights aren't on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's a good sign.
Yep.
So, baseball got started this week. You know, all of a sudden, have you ever? Can you even remember the last time the Mets went into spring training without like a lot of real question marks?
It's been a long time.
I mean, Terry Collins basically has 22 or 23 of the 25-man roster already set.
True.
You know? So we don't have to worry. This year, we're not worrying about who's going to be the shortstop. We're not worried about the outfield this year. We're not worried about who's going to hit home runs. Hopefully Cespedes will do that. But we certainly last year, even though we knew we had all these young pitchers, we didn't really know if they could pitch.
Yeah.
You know,
we know that now.
Right. I mean, think about this point last year where we were with Syndergaard. Okay, Syndergaard had not performed well in the AAA.
Yeah. He wasn't even on the opening day roster, was he?
He
They
didn't
brought
come
him up in
till
like May, I guess,
yeah,
or something,
you know.
right?
And all of a sudden, and he may turn out to be the best of the bunch.
Well, I read an article that he was talking about where he wants to be intimidating, is what he said, you know? And you think about Game 3 of the World Series where that first pitch he threw it over the bat is on the Royals' head, you know? Right. And, you know, he's probably old school like Bob Gibson or something, man.
Yeah, well, you know, he had that, what was that line? Meet me.
Oh, yeah, he said, if they don't like it, meet me at the mound.
Meet me 60 feet, 6 inches, right? And then he did a commercial for, I don't know if it was Nike or somebody, one of the athletic gear thing, where he just says he wants to be intimidating on the mound. You know what? He's 6'7".
That's pretty intimidating.
You know what I mean?
It's like Randy Johnson, right?
6'7".
Randy Johnson was that
He's
tall,
6'7",
right?
and the mound is 13 inches high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's almost 8 feet tall on the mound. You know, like, yeah, you're right.
He's a giant.
I think Randy Johnson was 6'9".
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, that's the same neighborhood, I would say.
Randy Johnson had the hair.
So does Thor.
The only thing Thor doesn't have is the mustache.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Well, I wonder if he can grow a mustache. He's so young, you know? But we'll see.
But the big, I guess the big story so far this week, you know, they were talking about how the Yankees are kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they have a decent team too, though. I really do.
I think, you know, I can't remember the last time that they did not get one free agent.
Mm-hmm.
The people that they got were all through trades. And of course, starting not next week, but the following week, we'll be doing our baseball extravaganza.
Will we be wearing bow ties again?
No.
Okay.
Because it's a whole month.
Okay.
I'm not wearing a bow tie for a month.
Who is that? Ken Rosenthal? Is he the guy that wears the bow tie on?
The guy.
Yeah.
I forget who he is, but
I think it's Rosenthal.
It's a statement type thing. The bow tie. I mean, I don't know why. Do you know how to make a bow tie?
No. I mean, mine was that
the clippy.
Yeah. You see those other ones, you say, how the hell would I tie that? I don't know. You know.
But we're gonna have a lot of baseball analysts this year. You know, I've been involved with a couple of
blogs. I know you don't like to call them blogs.
Not blogs.
I know.
We're columnists. I've been involved with a lot of sites.
Blog. Okay.
I think we're gonna have a lot of different correspondence for baseball. That'd be pretty cool.
That'll be good.
You know? Well, so we're gonna have 4 consecutive baseball extravaganzas. Each show 8 hours. Is that all right? Will that work?
They're asleep already. What are you talking about, man? You're putting them asleep over there.
All right, so let's talk about
the New York Yankees.
The Skankies,
okay,
as some people call them. John Gatto likes to call them the Skankies. Anyway, can you believe what's going on with that ticket policy?
I don't know a lot about it. I guess all I heard is basically that you can't buy those tickets on a secondary market, I guess.
Well, here's what happened. If you haven't heard, the Yankees announced earlier in the week that they were banning that popular print-at-home tickets. The reasoning was simple. This will protect fans from buying bogus tickets from scalpers and the secondary market, specifically their arch nemesis StubHub.
I thought the arch nemesis was the Boston Red Sox.
No, it's StubHub.
Okay.
But is that really the reason?
You tell me.
With the Yankees, you never really know. But the Yankees and StubHub have been feuding for years because the Yankees just don't like the fact that sellers on StubHub can charge whatever they want for tickets. But it's not that they charge too much. It's that they charge too little. The Yankees don't want people purchasing tickets for under face value. You know how sometimes you can go to city, you know, in the Mets, you go to at the end of the year, you can get tickets for $2. Right? Well,
That doesn't hurt the Mets, though.
No, it doesn't hurt anybody.
Doesn't hurt the Yankees, I guess,
It doesn't hurt the
right?
Yankees at all. But listen
the Yankees
to the
have already
reasoning.
sold that ticket.
The ticket's
right?
already
They already
sold.
took in the income for that ticket.
That's not the reason.
Tell me what it is then, my friend.
Well, Ticketmaster is the team's official ticket resale market. And the company sets a price floor that ensures that the tickets are priced higher than those selling on StubHub. Okay? Since the Yankees and Ticketmaster will not provide StubHub with something that's called an API feed, StubHub cannot provide its customers with a mobile interface that transfers the tickets to the customer. So they have to do that printed home thing.
Okay.
StubHub has the API fee, it's called an application programming interface, with almost every other major league team, including the Mets.
Almost every other one. So
well, there's another team or two that doesn't
Okay.
deal with StubHub. So if you want to get into Yankee Stadium, you're going to have tickets that were issued either by the Yankees or Ticketmaster on a hard copy ticket stock, okay? Or they're going to be able to put tickets on your mobile device.
but only Ticketmaster or the New York Yankees.
Right. If you want to purchase tickets from StubHub, you can, but you're going to have to pick them up at the StubHub office, which is located somewhere in the Bronx outside of Yankee Stadium.
Is it a safe neighborhood?
I can't.
It's the
guarantee
Bronx.
that.
Who
I
knows,
can't
man?
guarantee
You
that.
know.
You think that this might piss off more than a few Yankee fans that are looking for bargain tickets. So COO, which is, what is that, Chief
Operating
Officer.
Yeah.
Lon Trust, T-R-O-S-T. He went on WFAN to talk about the new policy
He
with
looks like
Boomer
Robert Klein a
Carter.
little bit there, doesn't he? Okay.
He wanted to explain the reason that it was to protect them against bogus tickets. Because, I always thought about the fact that when you buy a ticket and it's on a piece of paper, why couldn't you just print 20 of them?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Now, granted, once you go in, the other 19 won't work.
Right.
So the first person that goes in gets in, or your other 19 people don't get in. But if you're a ticket scalper...
You know what? Maybe this should be the Amazing Race. It should be,
But if you're a ticket scalper and you sell it 3 and 4 times, as long as you take off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, so instead, Trust wound up sounding like every stereotype associated with the Yankees and their elitist attitude. This is what he said.
Okay.
The problem below market at certain point is that if you buy a premium ticket in a very premium location and pay a substantial amount of money, it's not that we don't want the fan to sell it, but that fan is sitting there having paid a substantial amount of money for a ticket, and another fan picks it up for $1.50 and sits there. It's frustrating to the purchaser of the full amount. Now, I can understand that, because if you bought a ticket...
Boo-hoo.
Well, again, if you bought a ticket,
Yeah.
and you paid $100 for a ticket, and the guy sitting next to you only paid $10, you feel bad.
I suppose. But that's
But that's because you are a regular guy.
Yeah.
And $100 means a lot to you. Listen, Lonnie, old pal, you don't want a guy that paid $2,500 for a seat to sit next to another guy that only paid $150, right?
I suppose.
That would be just terrible. After all, the guy that paid $2,500 for his seat is actually the regular guy that owns the seat, and not some client of a super rich company that could actually afford the $2,500 seat, right? But of course, Trust works for the Yankees, gets paid by the Yankees, and buys into the Yankee way. Well, he took it to another level.
I can't wait to hear this.
And quite frankly, he said, the fan may be someone who has never sat in a premium location. So that is a frustration to our fan base.
What the hell does that mean?
I think the word you're looking for is boom.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I were a Yankee fan, I'd be losing my mind right now. Because you're telling me that if I pay $300 for a ticket, I don't know how to sit or act in a premium seat? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's just ridiculous. I understand that,
What is there, a dress code for those seats too or something or what, man? I don't know.
I guess there's, you've seen, and I forgot, I was going to pull a ticket. When you watch Yankee games,
Yeah.
When you watch Yankee games, there's always empty seats in that area.
That's right, because nobody can afford the $2,500 that those tickets go for.
Who can afford to pay that?
Yeah.
No regular fans are buying that ticket. Those tickets are all corporate tickets that they give out to their clients. So you know what? That premium section is filled with regular fans. There's nobody in there that's the premium guy. They are so out of touch. I don't understand these baseball executives. I just don't get it.
Maybe we can get Apple to do an API for them. What do you think?
I kind of agree with them in a way.
They're not giving up
They're not doing
the key for the
Because
iPhone.
because there's no way of knowing that the government isn't going to use that technology somewhere else anytime they want it.
Yeah.
And what about other countries? If they do it for the United States, what about a guy in Russia or a guy in China or whatever? They'd have to do it for everyone.
Yeah.
You know? But if there was a way for them to do it in a controlled environment,
I think that's
give
what
them
it
the
gets down to. It's
information
gotta
that
be
they
done.
want
Yeah.
and then remove it,
Yeah.
then I would have a...
There you go.
All right.
So, we're just getting started here on Glory Days. What do you say we switch gears and talk a little hockey with Mr. Hockey, Pete Torgerson? Later on, we'll talk about a few very strange high school basketball stories in our Did You Hear About segment. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. We're trying to get our good buddy Pete Torgerson on the phone. So before we do that, let's talk a little bit about them New York Islanders.
They won last night, 1-0.
Nice.
Pretty exciting game. Unfortunately, they lost, I guess, Thursday night against Washington. They did tie it up late in the game, though, so they got a point out of it, which was good.
Well, you know what? They're going out on a road trip now.
Right.
They're going to be playing, 9 of the next 12 or something on the road?
I know that it's a 7-game road trip. It started. I mean, I'm not sure I would call New Jersey really a road trip, but from there, I think they're next playing in Minnesota. I think Tuesday night.
Yeah. So right now they're sitting in 4th overall in the conference, in the Eastern Conference.
Well, they're third in Metropolitan. The top 3 teams in each division make the playoffs, and then it's the next 2 highest.
Right.
From the conference.
So right now they're sitting in 4th, but there's only about, I think, 4 or 5 points that separate them between 4th and 13th.
Yep.
You know.
Okay.
You know what? Let's bring in the man.
All
who
right.
knows. All righty.
When it comes to hockey, our next guest has no equal. Last week he brought us up to speed on what's happening in the Eastern Conference. So what do you say we talk about the Western Conference today? Welcome back, a man who wears black and white striped underwear at times, Mr. Hockey, Pete Torgerson. Hey, Pete, how are you?
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Good.
Hey, man,
good.
how are you? Where are you today?
All
What are
right.
you doing?
I'm on my way to instructional hockey, teaching those 5-year-olds how to play.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to throw an elbow there, Pete, or what?
Yeah. teach them how to get a little nasty.
Old time hockey?
Old time hockey, you got it.
So we were just talking about the Islanders and how they're going on a road trip here. They seem to be playing well. I think they're going to have a goaltender problem, though. I think they're going to have trouble finding work for everybody here.
As I said last week, you only want one goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with the hot guy.
And
Who
I don't
was
know
in
who,
that last night for the shutout?
Halak was in last night.
There's your guy. Let's ride him.
You know, so that's probably what they're going to end up doing. But there was a report in today's New York Post that there is an out clause for the Islanders in their 25-year lease in Brooklyn.
Right. I think it's 4 years out or 3 years out or something
It's like
that.
it's like 4 or 3 years out, and you know, all of a sudden they're already talking about it because the new owners take possession 100% of the team, I believe, in June.
Yeah, this summer.
You know, and
Yeah,
they're-
and you know what happens then?
what?
Au revoir. They're off to Quebec.
No, these are New York guys.
They're
Yeah.
gone.
No, they're talking about 2 locations.
Either Queens
Yeah.
over by, I guess, College Point,
Right,
or
they're talking
someplace
about
on Long Island.
right across the street from City Field.
Okay.
They're talking about where all those burned out things are. You know, they're
Chop
very,
shops and stuff.
Right,
yeah.
they're very close to finalizing that and getting that done. But that's where they want to put the arena, right next to right next to City Field. So that would be pretty cool.
It would be.
Yeah. Make sure Jay-Z's in on it, so it's a nice basketball stadium.
That's right.
I have no confidence in these owners. Aren't these the guys that say, "Oh, you got obstructive view? Don't worry, just look at the big screen."
No. These are not the
Okay.
owner. That's the guy who owns the arena.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the guy who owns the arena. The
Barclays
Russian
Center.
dude.
The Russian who owns the Nets as well.
Right. He owns the Nets. He owns the arena. He owns a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
as an outsider, bring them back to Long Island. They're the New York Islanders.
I agree. I
that-
agree.
They should
Well-
put them right. Knock down the old building or renovate the old building. Do something. That's the best area. You know, they had some down years when they
Yeah.
stunk, and guess what? That's going to happen. But that fan base is great out there. There's too much history. It's disgusting that they're letting them walk out of there.
well, you know, the
That
thing
whole
is,
Wang
the thing
thing,
is,
the other guy that stole the money.
well, the official plan right now is still to renovate the Coliseum to about 13,000 seats.
And
but
that won't support. I don't think you can move into a. I don't think an
Right.
NHL team can move into an arena that houses less than 15. I don't think.
Yeah, so it might
Correct,
just be
yeah.
a matter of reconfiguring, because if they can come up with another 4,000 seats, maybe.
Move them out to Calverton.
What do you got? You got a site out there?
It's a lot of areas, a lot of open space in Suffolk County, my friend.
I don't care as long as I don't have to take that train.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yeah.
thinking about it the other day. You know, they talk about, oh, it's not bad, it's not this, it's not that. And really, if you're going by yourself, it's about $13 round trip. But if you're taking your kids and your wife, you know, you're taking a family of 4.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about $60.
Yeah, but the
for
bigger
just for
problem is
transportation.
what time you got to leave to get there for the game to start.
You know, you went.
I
right?
had,
It's a
I had to
pain in the
leave.
ass.
I had to leave Massapequa at like 5 o'clock because I either got there at 10 after 6 or 10 after 7. The game started at 7 o'clock. What are you going to do?
Let's
Hey,
talk
let me
about
ask you
other
this
things.
one.
Go ahead.
The Island. They played the Blackhawks. Was it Thursday night? Now,
They
where do
played the
players go?
Capitals
They-
Thursday night. Yeah.
Capitals.
Right,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
the Capitals.
Yeah.
They play the Capitals. Game gets over at 10. Where do they go? Do
Nowhere.
they get on a bus and go to New Jersey? Do they drive home and leave in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the logistics are terrible. Like I said in the beginning, they're playing 80 road games.
They
this
are.
year. Every game is a road game for these guys, and
They
it's
are.
going to catch up to them at some point. Thank God everybody comes to New York and gets drunk, so so they're down a little bit when they play the Islanders, so they have that advantage. But other than that, it's really tough on those guys. It has to wear at them at some point.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Well, let's continue about hockey. I guess you saw, Ryan McDonough comes back from his concussion, and he immediately gets another concussion. This guy, Kamarov on Toronto, elbowed him, and he's out. And Larry Brooks, I don't know if you follow Larry Brooks. He writes for the Post. He's a pretty knowledgeable hockey guy, but he's also a Ranger homer. And he has a proposal in today's paper about things that he thinks needs to happen about suspensions in the spirit of player safety.
Okay.
So the first thing he says is you should reinstate the 10-minute match penalty. I think it's 5 minutes now is what it is, okay?
They don't have that anymore?
It's 5 minutes. It's not 10.
Oh.
Okay?
Here's what, that whole Ryan McDonough thing, I like Ryan McDonough as a player. I think he's a great player. But guess what? Keep your head up.
Yeah.
Know what's going on. I think he has a bit of a glass jaw. I don't think the guy from Philly hit him that hard.
No, I didn't think so either.
Yeah, and then he got elbowed again. Maybe his head's a little rattled.
Yeah.
But be aware, you cannot get hit like that.
Somebody should send him a picture of Eric Lindros, I think, or something. Or was it Brett? I don't know which Lindros it was, but one of them, he had a short career because of all his concussions. Proposal number 2 is to make the coach serve the suspension currently with the player. I guess this would stop, like, the coach would say, well, it's not my fault. It's, he's got to have control over his players when they go and run at people and stuff.
All right.
What do you think about that, Pete?
I think that's a waste of time. Here's what you have to do.
Okay.
Bring back that fourth line with a couple of goons on it and let the boys figure it out themselves. And guess what? You didn't have that problem when the guys had no helmets on in the 70s and 80s. You never had this problem.
Right.
Now you have all this super equipment. You got your $400 stick, and you got guys dropping like flies. Guess what? Because there's no retribution. Okay, I'm going to go after a guy. I'm going to run McDonough. The Rangers did a good job when they came out and they fought him right out of the game.
Right, Philly, last week, yeah.
But when they played Philly, that's how you settle it. And guess what? What happened the rest of the game?
Nothing.
There wasn't a problem. They had 2 fights in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Right.
Everybody got it squared away. Okay, there's no more of that, and we're on to the next page. I'm a firm believer. You got to keep fighting in. Get rid of the instigator rule. Just let them go at it. They will keep things calm and settled. Because guess what? You have guys. Who was the guy that hit McDonough the other night? He was no bruiser. He was a small guy.
Kamarov, yeah.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
there was no ISIS until we got rid of Saddam Hussein.
There you go.
Just saying.
There you go.
So I just want to go over these last 2 words quick. So the third thing he said is a team is played short during a suspension. You can't fill your roster out with somebody. Okay?
That's interesting.
That's an interesting thing. And then the last thing, and this lies in the face of what you're saying, Pete. He says they should amend the suspension to include the games versus the team that the suspension happened against. So, so this, I'm not sure. What they're saying is basically, if you were wrong because of this, that, like the suspension happened now. Basically, Toronto is not playing the Rangers for a couple of games, so they're playing this guy down. Okay, so the other teams that maybe are chasing the Rangers benefit from that situation.
Well, you know what I think? How about this? All right, you how when your goalie gets a penalty, you have to pick the guy on the ice who to serve the penalty. Mm-hmm. Maybe the team that gets hurt gets to pick the guy on the other team that serves the suspension. I bet you that stops it.
Yeah, it might.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's Pete. It's a violent game. No, it's not a violent game, but there's bodies flying all over again. Sometimes it just happens.
Right, and then you get a few rats out there like Cook on Minnesota, a couple of guys like that running around. Guess what? Eliminate these guys, get their faces punched in a few times, and that'll solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
This isn't. The NHL is becoming everybody gets a trophy league, and it stinks. And I'm not for it. I want the strongest to survive. I want the tough guys out there. I want guys that grind. And I love Tavares because he gets after it. He's in the middle. And guess what? But he has Matt Martin running around. Anybody screws around, he's going to step in, and then we're going to have some issues. So the Islanders have a little bit of that there, but because of the rules of the league, you can't really enforce that the way you want it. So.
Well, you know what? I guess they're trying to be a little bit more, especially, they're very sensitive, especially because of everything that's going on with concussions and how, they're trying to protect the players and things like that. And I'm really concerned about it. Even with football, I don't know how you stop what's going on. You know what I mean? It's these gigantic players that are just hitting each other, and it happens.
Well, with the NHL, it's simple. One of the other things is the equipment. The elbow pads have this hard plastic. It's like a football helmet on it. You get hit with that, you're going to feel it. Go back to like an all-cloth elbow pad.
That's what I had when I played.
Yeah.
It was just a little tiny thing. I never even knew why I wore it.
There you go. Go back to wooden sticks. These guys have $400 sticks, and scoring's way off. So, I don't know. I'm too old school. I'm getting old and grumpy with.
I know. We're turning into that guy that
Grumpy
says,
old
"Get
man.
off my lawn."
Grumpy old man, man.
Yeah.
I remember the old days. Well, you know what I think it is also, Pete? I think it's the fact that that when, I don't know if there's more concussions today or we just know about it more. It was just people just remember they used to skate off the ice like this. They'd skate off and somebody would help them to the bench.
They'd be playing
They'd
Dazed
pop
and
an
Confused
anal
by
nitrate under their
Alexa.
nose and then they go right back out.
Yeah. That's what they have smelling salts for. Crying out loud.
All right, let's talk about the West. Let's talk about what's going on there.
Other than the Capitals and maybe Tampa, I think the Stanley Cup's coming from the West this year. The big three, Chicago, St. Louis, and who else is in the mix?
L.A., Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Dallas, St. Louis, Chicago. They're going to bust heads. The Kings out in the West. San Jose, no. Anaheim's getting hot again. My team to watch, they're on the bubble now, is Minnesota. They got their new coach. They won 3 straight. I think they're going to be the team that are going to surprise some people this year, get by the first round. Looking back on last year.
We're going to see them up close this week. They're
Yep.
playing the Islanders are heading out to Minnesota this week.
Yep. So if you remember last year, I had Nashville beating Chicago in the first round. They were my hot team, but folded fast. So I think Minnesota is going to make a run this year. They have too much talent to sit back. Their defense is too strong. They got some big guys up front. Charlie Coyle from around here being one of them. I think they're going to be my favorite team to watch.
They're 2 points out of the playoff spot
What,
right now. I guess the two teams that qualified at the season end today would be Nashville and Colorado, both with 64, but Minnesota's got 62.
One of those are not going to make it. It could be either. Colorado's been up and down. Jerome Engler is running the show out there for them. And Nashville, I don't know. They're off a little bit this year. I don't have the love for them that I had in the past.
You should see Vancouver lost like 4 consecutive 5-2 games.
I didn't
They
see
set
that.
some sort of a record.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, one more thing I want to ask you just before I let you go. I know we talked a little bit last week about the Capitals, but I forgot to ask you, what is the difference between the Capitals of this year and the Capitals of last year?
They got rid of Green. I think he was a big liability on the backside. Their goalie is unbelievable. I think he's probably top 3 goalie in the league. And they added some depth with Williams and T.J. Oshie. So
are they the best team?
I think so. I like him. I was never an Ovi fan, but he's
playing
matured.
defense, though. I mean, I think that's part of the difference too with those teams.
Exactly. I think the coach is getting a lot out of them. So I think they're a real nice team. So
I mean, with 56, almost 60 games into the season, they only lost 10 times.
88 points they got. I mean, Chicago, with probably the next best team, is 81. So they're shooting for the playoffs for sure.
Here's the thing with the Capitals: they have to win the first round of playoffs. That's going to be.
Yeah.
They have to go in and sweep a series or 4-1, something like that. If
They can't
go
do
7 games.
I think last year, they have all 3 of their series won 7 games.
Yeah.
They beat the Islanders in 7. That's what they played the Rangers in a second. The Rangers took them out, though.
Yeah, the Rangers took them out.
So they only went 2. They only went 2 rounds. They only went 1 round. Really.
They can't. I don't know. They can't continue to play like you said. They can't go into the. You're not going to win the Stanley Cup if you play 21 games before you even get there.
True.
Right.
That's what I think. What do I know? The only thing I know is who was going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, Pete, thanks for calling in here today, and have fun teaching these 5-year-olds how to throw elbows and things like that.
Don't forget, show them how to
This
put
is
on the
old-time hockey,
You
man.
got to show them how to put on the foil.
No question. That's why we're here.
All righty, Pete, thanks.
Thanks for calling in, Pete.
Thanks, guys. Great job as always.
All right, man,
take
that's
care.
our good pal, Pete Torgerson. I'll take another break here on the Glory Day Show, and when we get back, we will bring you a few stories that you might not have heard about in our Did You Hear About segment. Stay with us. Watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco only on the Inravio TV network. Coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. As a sports fan, you know you can get the scores and highlights from any number of places on the internet or from places like ESPN. But here on the Glory Day Show, we pride ourselves on finding interesting, sometimes bizarre, but always entertaining stories for you, our sophisticated yet twisted audience. This is a segment that we call Did You Hear About? Alrighty.
You ready?
I'm always ready.
All right.
Our first story takes us to a high school basketball game in Salem, New Hampshire. File this under the category of it's just not fair. Nothing you can do about things sometimes. Salem High School was trailing the Winnicott High School Warriors by 2 points in the final seconds when Matt McLaughlin hit what appeared to be a three-pointer as time expired to win the game for the Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils.
Okay.
As the players and fans celebrated the win, one of the referees waved off the basket, saying that it didn't go in and it fell short of the rim for an air ball. Problem is that the ball did go in. The players under the basket saw it, and everyone in the arena saw it. But the referee insisted it didn't go in, waved it off, giving the win to the Warriors 46-44. But wait, the game was televised. So surely there was a replay, right? Over and over again, the TV replay confirmed that the ball clearly went into the basket.
Okay.
Okay. I think everybody in the gym saw the ball go in, Salem coach Rob McLaughlin said after the game. It wasn't an issue with time. The referees are claiming the ball never went through the basket. The officials said it never went in. They said it missed and hit the bottom of the net. So what's the problem then? Everyone seems to agree that the ball went in the net and not under it. Even the Warrior coach admitted that the ball went in. Hell, the TV replay showed that it went in. It's quite simple, really. The TV replay cannot be used to change a call. The New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association, NAHIA, cannot change the outcome because, well, the rule book says they can't change the outcome. End of story. So what do? Does the Winnicott give the game back to Salem in a gesture of good faith? What are you, insane? Too bad for Salem. You feel bad for them, but what are you supposed to do?
There's nothing they can do, I guess.
Well, Salem did file a protest, but Naiha says that judgment call by a referee is not subject to protest. And even though he said he'd never even viewed the video, NHIAA Executive Director Jeff Collins said, per NIAHA rules, video replay cannot be used in any disputes. It's simply not allowed by the rules. Video replay cannot be used to overturn a judgment call. The call that is made on that night, the moment the officials walk off the court, the game is in the books. And what about Winnacunnet? Are they just going to take the win and slink away? Well, Coach Jay McKenna has acknowledged that Salem should have been awarded the victory, but they haven't given it back yet. They did send a letter to NIAHA asking that Salem be awarded the victory, but NIAHA turned it down. I feel
there's some
badly.
betting going on with this?
I don't know. I feel badly, McKenna said. It's been a difficult few days for us, and I know it's been for Salem as well. Salem played a nice game. The kid hit a shot, and they deserved to win, and we tried to do the right thing. You know what I don't understand? If they, it's kind of like that thing where, like in Congress,
Yeah.
all right? If you know that everybody is voting no, you vote yes, even though you know that your vote
What,
isn't
to look good?
Yeah, just to look good. I think that's what happened. Whatever.
Well, I think really what they need to do is, if that's the rule needs to be changed.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
That's what, especially then you bring up the question of replay. Mm-hmm. Okay, unless every game is televised, you can't use replay.
Well,
that's a problem.
I mean, I think it has to. If replay is available, it needs to be considered.
That's what I
mean.
think. I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. Story number 2 brings us to one of our favorite subjects: NFL players behaving badly. In the league that has at times seemed out of control off the field, its players just don't seem to understand how to behave when they are not on the playing field. Did you hear about what happened to Buffalo Bills running back LaShawn McCoy and his entourage?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. Okay. Last week, the former Philadelphia Eagles star running back and his crew were in Philadelphia at a nightclub called Recess Lounge and got involved in a brouhaha.
I love that word.
Brouhaha, yeah. McCoy and 3 of his buddies were accused of stomping 2 off-duty police officers over a bottle of champagne. TMZ posted video of the 2 off-duty police officers being pummeled by the 4 men, including McCoy, about 2:45 a.m. There was pushing and shoving, and when one of the officers was knocked to the ground, he was gang beaten. The officer was treated for a cut to his eye, a broken nose, broken ribs, and a sprained thumb.
That sounds like a beatdown.
It does. The other officer, who tried to break up the fight, received 8 stitches over his left eye, has a possible skull fracture and an orbital fracture. The president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 5, is that like the raccoons? said the officers looked like they got the brunt of it. Of course, McCoy's attorney said he did nothing wrong, and it looks like the Philadelphia DA agrees with him. Although the police department insisted that McCoy be charged with the assault, the DA does not agree in this case. CSN Philly is reporting that the DA is hesitant to issue warrants in the case because they have questions about the conduct of their officers that evening, including how much they may have had to drink before the altercation and why they never called 911 during the fracas.
They have to call 911 while you're getting beat up?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Whenever it comes to the NFL players and violence, we all are guilty of rushing to judgment. In this case, McCoy and his friends may not have started the altercation, but they certainly finished it. Granted, they finished it by curb stomping the officers' faces and using a champagne bottle instead of their fists, so they probably could be charged with something else. But this was just a case of an old-fashioned barroom brawl and should be treated as such. After all, off-duty officers don't spend time in bars getting drunk, do they?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, you're not a police officer.
Well, the thing is, you are a police officer. You're an officer of the law,
Yeah.
but you're off duty. You should be able to go out and do whatever you want. But we know a few police officers,
We sure do.
and we know that they have the attitude of we are the police,
Yeah.
even when they're off duty.
Yeah.
And not that the rules don't apply to them, but when you're in that situation, I don't know. You got 4. I mean, LaShawn McCoy is a very large human being. And he's an athletic, he's a running back in the NFL.
Yep.
I am quite sure he's not hanging around with two guys like us.
Probably. Well, you never know.
You know, he's
You
hanging
never know.
around with guys that in the event of a brouhaha will probably protect him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I really would like to see that TMZ video. I'd like to see if he was like involved in it or he was just like, you know, kind of on the periphery of it.
I wonder who was in his entourage. You think it might have been Ray Lewis?
Alrighty. Our final story brings us back to high school basketball, this time involving a girls' team. 108-1. That was the final score. Okay? In a girls' high school basketball game, it would normally fly under the radar. Gilmore Academy High School, the Lancers, beat Northeast Ohio College Prep. What kind of a basketball team do you think they have? In a Division III Northridge sectional semifinal by the score of 108-1. Yes, 108-1. Gilmore eked out a 72-1 lead at the half and had to struggle to hold on by only outscoring NEO 36-0 in the second half. NEO wound up going 0 for 28 from the floor and 1 for 4 from the line.
Imagine if they didn't foul somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been a total, it would have been a shutout.
Although one must question how a team can accomplish scoring 108 points in a basketball game that only has 32 minutes of playing time. They play 4 8-minute quarters.
Okay.
Gilmore coach Bob Butel insisted that his team did not deliberately try to run up the score and that he played several junior varsity players starting as early as the first quarter. All right? Mm-hmm. We did what we had to do to respect the game and respect our opponent. And I'm really proud of the way our kids responded. Butel, he was talking to Fox 8 in Cleveland. I was real proud of the way the girls responded because they did nothing to disrespect that team. We're not going to try and embarrass anybody. We are not going to disrespect anybody. You have to do the fundamental things right. Of course, this must be an aberration because a team as good as Gilmore, who was ranked #1 in the tournament, surely knows how not to disrespect a far inferior opponent and embarrass them, right?
I don't know about that.
Gilmore, who finished the season at 17-4, has won 8 of their games by more than 30 points, including 92-15 rout earlier in the season. It's a good thing they're teaching sportsmanship and respect at the Gilmore Academy. In a statement, Northeast Ohio College Prep, maybe they should get out of basketball, said that their school was extremely proud of the camaraderie and sportsmanship that our team displayed before and after the game. And then they congratulated Gilmore on their victory. By the way, NEO finished their season at 1-12. I wonder who they beat.
Yeah, it's a good question. And I wonder what the score of that game was.
You know? I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for NEO because I don't know about you, but I didn't really score that much in high school either.
But I'll tell you what, you know, the one thing you brought up is he put in his JV team, okay?
Right.
You know, those guys just want to score points. That was probably the wrong thing to be doing, you know? Those guys, they didn't get a chance to play, so you know they're going to try to score as much as they can, you know? They want their letter is what they want.
Here's what I'm going to do. I did some number crunching.
Okay.
Okay, because you know how much I love math on this here show. Okay. Gilmore scored 72 points in 16 minutes of playing time in the half. Okay? That is 4.5 points per minute. Okay? That's at least 3 possessions a minute, unless they were bombing 3-pointers. Okay? There is no shot clock in Ohio high school basketball. So was it really necessary for Gilmore to score all those points? There's no shot clock. We have to just pass it around a little bit. Okay? Even if they were stealing the ball on every inbound pass.
Well, it sounds like they'd have to do that to score that many points.
Right. I mean, if they use the NBA's 24-second clock, you know, you have to take a shot every 24 seconds, okay? That would only give them about 2 possessions every minute, right? Okay? That means even if they immediately got the ball back after every basket they scored, okay, that'd only be 32 possessions, right? And what would that be, 64 points?
Yeah.
Because I do math very well. Okay, but they had 72. It's just mind-boggling. And you know what they don't have in Ohio high school basketball? A mercy rule.
Oh, well,
Many other states have a mercy rule. And, you know, like in basketball, it's so many runs and the game is over.
Baseball.
Well, and baseball. In basketball, what they have as a mercy rule is that when the point differential gets to a certain thing, let's say 30 points,
yeah.
they play running time. There's no stopping of the
I do
clock.
that in
or
hockey
anything
too.
like that.
You know, in Pee Wee hockey and stuff. I think.
I just cannot understand how you can justify doing this to a team. I mean, it was 72-1, right?
Right.
At one point, it must have been 45-0, or maybe 45-1, right? I mean, unless they scored first and they were ahead 1-0.
Yeah, it's really the coach. I think is the guy that needs to be held accountable for that.
I understand the junior varsity wants to show, but that is 100% on the coach.
Yeah.
The coach has to just come out and say, hey, listen, you know.
Don't run up the score.
I have no problem with them. You know, they're not just going to stand there and let them go around them. That's disrespectful for the opponent. But you know what? You don't need to be making uncontested layups every time. Whatever happened to that rule? Remember, I forget who the college basketball coach is. His rule used to always be every player touches the ball before we take a shot. Right? It was just a thing that they wanted to do. You pass the ball around and then you take a shot. I just think that you could have done whatever you needed to do, taken a shot every half a minute.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's respecting your opponent.
And that's sportsmanship.
And that's sportsmanship. Again, it's first of all, how do teams make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Where you have one team that could score 108 points and the other team score 1? Is that like the PC?
And that was a
thing
playoff
where
game?
Every
the team only won one
playoff
game.
game.
So I guess it's like Pete said before, you know, everybody gets a trophy, everybody makes you got one win, you made the playoffs. How can you justify that? I don't know. All right.
We're just about time here at the Glory Day Show. We're going to take a small break, and when we get back, we will wrap up things for the weekend. Stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back, and so should you.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network.
Disco, you sound like an FM
That's
radio
my
disc jockey.
FM radio voice.
It sounds good, man.
So what did we learn today?
Well, we can depend on Pete. He does. We even though we tell him we don't reach him the first time, we do reach him. And Pete wants to bring back old-time hockey, you know.
Yeah.
And he's doing his part by participating today in a clinic with 5-year-olds that's featuring atomic elbows and knuckle sandwiches. I'm only joking, Pete. I think it's great what you're doing there, man. You know.
It's a good thing those parents aren't watching our show right now. Could you imagine all of a sudden them standing outside in the parking lot going, "Are you Pete Torgerson from the Glory Days Show?"
And he starts running away, man. You know.
They start chasing him like a Benny Hill. I learned that if you want to score in high school, you should head to Ohio and Gilmore Academy.
I think you're talking about a different kind of scoring, though, my friend.
I'm always talking about the same kind of scoring. I also learned that you don't mess with LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
You know, or if you're going to mess with LaShawn McCoy, even if you have guns, why don't you just buy 2 bottles of champagne?
Yeah, I guess we never really covered what
They said it was
that fight.
They were fighting over a bottle of champagne. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean that the 4 guys wouldn't share with them?
Yeah.
Were they all sitting at a table together?
I don't know.
I just can't imagine what they were fighting over, although they did crack the bottle of champagne over somebody.
We also don't know what kind of a bar that was.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it was the recess lounge.
Yeah.
And why, by the way, do they make champagne bottles so heavy? They should make champagne bottles breakaway. Because there's so many people that get hit with champagne bottles because it's like a club.
Well, that's right. Well, you think about it. They used to take a champagne bottle, right, to christen a ship, right? You know, so the breakaway would be really good because sometimes you see it hit it and it just bounces back or whatever.
Or
you know?
it breaks the ship like in Caddyshack.
Yeah.
I also learned that there is a protocol for sitting in premium seats.
Right, and
Yankee
probably a dress code too that we just aren't aware of. You
It
know.
might be a dress code. You have to. Well, you know, remember the Seinfeld episode where Elaine got in trouble for
Right,
wearing
wearing
a Baltimore Orioles hat.
Right. In the owner's box.
In the owner's box, you know. But I guess, you know, that's the place that if you're a Yankee fan, that's where you want to be. You want to sit in the $2,500.
Now, we were talking about that because we went to a game a few years ago, and we sat in seats that were close to there, but there was a wall that you couldn't get down to those premium seats.
They call it the moat.
Yeah.
The Yankee fans call it the moat.
Well, they should. You know.
You know, you just can't get in there because remember, they have vendors that come into that area and everything's free, so they're just handing you food. And when we were there was a guy who they were getting ice cream, and they were taking it and they were throwing it up to the peons on the other side of the wall. They were throwing it up and giving them ice cream for free.
You know, and I guess they don't let you bring a fishing pole in. You know, fish for that hot dog, man. You know.
New York Yankee baseball. Yeah. Oh, whatever.
I think it's time to get out of here, my friend.
I think we should. All right. Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhailov, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. Thanks again, Pete Torgerson, helping us out today. Thanks, Chuck and Bonnie, putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this quality type of programming.
Exclamation point.
And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. And don't forget, you can check out Glory Days on demand page at www.inravio.com, and you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Next week, we will be bringing on our good buddy,
Tommy Gatto.
And we're going to talk about the Oscars next week.
Oh, boy.
Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care.